My first patient of the morning. Lovely child. Very cooperative. Very sweet. Cover, uncover test. Oh, she's a very cooperative child, believe me. So when I finish a typical clinic day, I go home in a coma. And we don't do any workouts, just coming to work is enough. I definitely had more black hair then. And who's responsible? Some of those PGs in my audience for my gray hairs. Okay, what are the goals of a squint examination? You want to establish cause for the strabismus. You want to know if this patient has binocularity. Do they use your eyes together? You want to measure the deviation, obviously. You want to know if it's increasing over time, decreasing over time, it's the same, does it need intervention? So you need to measure. And you also want to pick up amblyopia, which can be treated. So like everything in clinical medicine, we start with history. We want to know if the squint is constant or intermittent. Because if it is intermittent, then during the time when there is no squint, the patient has fusion. Any associated face turn, head tilt, because if there is an abnormal head posture, it's for fusion. You also want to know about the onset of strabismus. If the eyes were straight in the first few months of life, and then the squint started at, say, 8 months of life, all those 7 months, the child was using the eyes together. Good news. You want to know if this is acquired, because acquired squints can be because of a neurological or a systemic disease, like nerve palsies. Is there a history of diplopia? Yes. Well, it tells you that it's acquired, because if the squint was there right from infancy, the chances are the child will either suppress the eye or will be alternating, right? So diplopia equal to acquired squint. So what do we do? We ask for old childhood photographs, driving licenses, IDs. We try to look at onset if the onset is not clear. And if there is history of progression, we can get a good idea from looking at the photographs. So we have lots of fun. We say bring old photos. So we'll get everything from photos taken off the wall, and they'll bring with the frame. Doctor, we have only one. And to these days, sophisticated. We have it on the tab. We have it on the mobile. It's also on the pen drive. Which one do you want? So very useful. Look at that. For example, if you look at this patient, you can see that there is just a hint of an up and down squint, as we call it. And then a little head tilt here, a little head tilt here. Looks straighter there. Some surgery was done between this and this, no records, and he comes like that, right? So probably the inferior oblique is overacting, because maybe the superior oblique was whacked off. Tenotomy. Something was done. That's how we surmised, okay? So we said superior oblique tenotomy. Those days, they must have done it for Brown syndrome. So that is how photographs help. You want to know history of previous treatment and compliance with previous treatment. We advised 2 hours of patching. 15 minutes mein nikal deta hai. Then you're not going to advise patching again. You've got to think of something else. So you want to know, does a child wear glasses, contact lenses? How is the compliance with patching, frosted glasses, penalization? Was there use of prisms? Any orthoptic exercises? Previous surgery, old records, definitely need to be looked for. You want to get an idea about birth and development. We are still in history. Why? Why do we want to get a good birth and developmental history? Because esotropia is common in low birth weight children. And forceps use or vacuum can result in a higher chance of superior oblique palsy. You yank on the head, you're likely to injure the superior oblique, which is the thinnest nerve, trochlear nerve, that's right. So cortical visual impairment can be associated with children who have developmental delay, and those kids don't do well with surgery. Their results are unpredictable. Squint surgery in kids with developmental delay, okay? So you need to get a good history of delay. And early intervention is required if there is family history of squint. For example, we had a child who came with accommodative esotropia, amblyopia in one eye, high hyperopia, +6. So I looked across, I saw the mom was pregnant. So I said, when the baby comes out, I want to see the baby in 3 or 4 months of age. He said, but he will not read the chart. I know, he will not read the chart, but we still can tell. Really? She looked at me like I was God. So I said, no, bring the child. I brought the child at 4 months of age, high hyperopia, +6. So we prescribed glasses before the squint happened, and you saved binocularity. So get a good family history. Okay, that's my room number. Welcome to 522. Keep a child-friendly atmosphere. Comfort. Of course, Kishore is working, wondering, well, I'm 9 years old. Why am I sitting on mother's lap? But anyway, that was for the photograph. And so basically, comfort of the child. What do you need to examine squint? What you need. Looks like so much fun. Look at that. Sticks with pictures, lots of toys. All my kids' toys, once they grew up, came to my clinic. And then an occluder and a prism box. How inexpensive is that? No Fecker machine, vitrectomies, microscope, nothing. Just fun. And then, but occluders can be variety. This is a translucent occluder, a Spielman occluder, and sometimes a torchlight is used just to get an idea. Don't use a torchlight as a fixation target, okay? Why? Yeah, it is not an accommodative target. You need a target with details, okay? And, of course, different types of fancy occluders. And then a television, a wonderful device. And in all kinds of charts, if the child will read, a Leah symbols chart. And a good bag of toys. That's what you need. So how do we start examining a patient with squint? Observe. Inspection of the eyes and head posture. Next. Normally, what do we do in ophthalmology? We check what next? Vision, right? But here, look at that. I have written evaluation of the sensory status followed by visual acuity estimation. Why? Anybody? Why do we do binocularity tests before we do vision? I told you I have to watch my action. Because when you occlude, you break fusion, right? So if the fusion was tenuous, just about there, just about 80 arc seconds of stereopsis, boom, you go occlude the eye to check vision, they just fall apart, okay? So always sensory status first, and then visual acuity estimation. Refraction, because all squint examination has to happen in the best corrected acuity. So patient has come, 3 by 60, 3 by 60, -4, okay? Not wearing glasses, and has got exotropia. I will not even look at the child. I'll not even look at the patient. You first go, get glasses and come, and then we will examine you, okay? So you need best corrected acuity to examine a patient of squint. And then you do evaluative ocular alignment. Fundus exam. Why do you want to look at the fundus? Why fundus in a squint patient? Yeah, a sensory cause of strabismus. Any other reason? In a patient with head tilt, why do you want to look at the fundus? Torsion. Lovely, lovely word. Torsion. Okay. So next is, of course, you want to look at the child from head to toe because it may be part of a systemic disease. What do you see here? What do you see here? Webbing of the neck. That's right. What do you see here? Abduction limitation. This is Duane's retraction syndrome with webbing of the neck. This is Wilder-Wank syndrome. Okay? All right. So you need to look at them from head to toe. Then you look at the lid fissures, the position of the globe, ocular alignment, facial asymmetry. Which cause of a long-standing head tilt can cause facial asymmetry? Commonest cause of a head tilt. Are torticollis. Commonest South Indian breakfast idli. It's like this. What is the cause of a head tilt? Superior oblique palsy. Superior oblique palsy, #1 cause of a head tilt. Okay? Cyclovertical palsy. So they will develop a shortening of the half of the face, which can never be corrected if you do not intervene early. Okay? So look for that actively. And presence of nystagmus, pupils. So head postures can be in several varieties. And sensory examination. I'm going to just run through sensory examination. The goals of the sensory examination are to find out if there is diplopia, suppression, type of retinal correspondent, stereopsis. Now, each one of this is a separate topic. I'm not going to go into details, but basically you need to know whether the eyes are working together. So if they are grossly working together, it's fusion. And if they are really, really finely working together, that's how you test for stereopsis. Okay? That's broadly what it is. And retinal correspondence is somewhere kind of in between. They're kind of working together, but imperfectly. So that's kind of retinal correspondence. So tests for suppression can be the Wirth 4-dot test, 4-prism base-out test, or a Begolini striated glasses. How many of you have used any one of these? All the others are welcome to Shankar Netralaya. Okay. Test for stereopsis can be Titmus, Randot, or a TNO. Some of them require glasses, some of them require red-green goggles, and some don't require anything. There are many, many, many stereo tests, okay? Distance stereopsis is something we don't routinely measure, but it is invaluable in management of intermittent exotropias. Okay, we move on to the motor examination. And we can divide them into ocular motility tests and ocular alignment tests. Ductions and versions, right? What are ductions? Unioculum, what are versions? And what are versions? Right, perfect. They know everything. And so let me tell you about, so people always wonder, madam, what do you do first? We do duction, and then we do duction, then we do version. Arey, the first child, you think will say, ha, madam, duction pehle karenge, going to sit there and show, huh? No. So how you do use duction and version is like this. You do version, and you come here and you find the eye is not moving this way. Then this eye is not moving this way, okay? So you do a quick duction movement. Cover this eye, do a duction movement. That is how you use. In tandem, version, not moving, duction, okay? That's how you use them. All right. This is the slide. When I show such some abduction, immediately people have said, I'm doing retina. Yeah, you know? This is the turning point. So all these fancy names, we don't do all that. We just call it dextro elevation, dextro depression, you know, levo elevation, levo depression. Okay? Or we even simple, we say elevation in abduction, elevation in adduction. That's how we use it in clinic. Okay? All right. Ocular motility, and I have to show some video, right? There. What is that movement? Right eye? Left eye? Which muscle right eye? Which muscle right eye? Inferior rectus. Which muscle left eye? Superior rectus. Left. Which muscle left eye? Inferior rectus. So why did we do this up and down last? Up and down we should have done first. Why we did last? Because two muscles act. You can't separate the muscles. Okay? So now we'll do the action. Last year in Agarwal's we did what is called the what's called the squint dance. Okay? After that they didn't invite me this year. So it's called EZO, EXO. What? Come on, yeah. On a long day, 4:30 p.m. they gave me the squint session. Okay? So I made everybody stand up and do the squint dance. So we said EZO, EXO, like that. Okay? So they don't know, still don't know squint, but they remember me. So we want to squint dance, but let me just go quickly over the muscles. Very important you get the concept right. Right eye, what's working in the right eye? 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 And you're all very smart, it's the same thing in the left eye. Okay. Okay, corneal light reflex test, also known as Hirschberg test, it's only a screening test. Okay, don't base your surgeries on the Hirschberg. Okay, 1 millimeter is equal to 7 degrees. That's all you need to remember. And 1 degree is equal to 2 prism diopters if you want to convert it. Right? So we just use it in small kids sometimes to just get an idea, kya ho raha hai, what's happening types. But what you really can do is improve upon the Hirschberg with a prism, which is called the modified Krimsky test. And you put the prism in front of which eye? On the fixing eye, on the good eye. So both these techniques are used in sensory squints, where vision is poor in one eye. Because to do cover test, you need good vision in both eyes. If the vision is less in one eye, you have to use either Hirschberg or a modified Krimsky. Everybody clear? Right. Okay, so let's do cover test. So what do you cover with? Occluder, Many types of occluder. And as you remember in the first video, I did cover with my thumb, because this kid's not going to allow me to bring one occluder in front, right? So the patient wears glasses, bifocals, contact lenses, whatever. You need to measure both distance and near, and you need to have something that will hold the interest of the child. Okay? So latest now I have an app which sings nursery rhymes. So I have like this, twinkle, twinkle, little star. That's how we do. So the first requirement before joining pediatric fellowship, we'll ask you to sing nursery rhymes in the interview. Okay. And you need an accommodative target. Over and over again, I cannot stress on the importance of this. You need an accommodative target. So what is an accommodative target? For somebody who has got 6/9 vision OU, it should be 2 lines above their best corrected acuity. Okay? Not some blurred circle of light. No torchlight. Okay? If you hold a torchlight in the exam, in the squint, we'll knock it off and say, fail. Come next year. Okay? So no torchlight. Use a near target, a stick with pictures, buy a chocobar, eat the ice cream, put stickers on it. Okay? So very simple. Cover test. It's obvious. You have to cover one eye, see what's happening to the other eye. Right? You can't see the eye that is being covered. So you look at the other eye, see what's happening in that eye. Then you remove the cover and see what happened to this eye. That's all. That's all it is. And then alternate cover test, you move from one eye to the other eye. Like this, like this. And then once you put a prism, it's called alternate prism cover test. Right? And then you bring the prism and the cover together same time. It's called simultaneous prism cover test. That's all there is. If you know English, you know squint. So you cover one eye. Any movement on cover, it's called a tropia or a manifest squint. Okay? If it doesn't move and you've now taken the cover and you find this eye has moved out, what is the condition? Phoria. Very good. Perfect. Fantastic. So repeat the steps in the other eye. Repeat as many times as it takes to be sure. And alternate cover test, move from one eye. What does the alternate cover test measure? Total deviation. Total deviation. How many more minutes I have? Okay. Thank you. So simultaneous prism cover test. The good thing about simultaneous prism cover test is you will never be asked this in the exam. Okay? So, but I just tell you what it is. It's very cool because we use it all the time. So here we have done surgery. Patient comes back and the optometrist, who doesn't like me, because I scold her all the time, has said 20 prisms remaining, 20 prism residual XT. And then I'm like, oh God. Then patient walks in. It doesn't look that bad. It doesn't look like 20 to me. It looks less. Why? Because some of it is phoria. Right? And what did the optometrist do? They did put prism measured. Total deviation. Now, it doesn't look that bad to me, which means phoria is not visible. It's only the tropia that I'm seeing. So now I want to feel good about myself. Then I do the simultaneous prism cover test, which measures only the tropia. So you bring the cover and the prism at the same time, then you measure only the tropia. So it's a feel-good test. What's the end point? We go on doing this cover test, we put 30 prism, patient is still XT, 40 prism, patient is still XT, less XT. So what is the end point? The end point is no movement or reversal. Okay? Special situations we won't talk about. So limitations of a cover test are vision and patient cooperation. So if the patient's vision is OD 6/6, OS 3/60, what test will you use? Modified Krimsky. Fantastic. If you don't have a prism box, what will you use? A Hirschberg. Yeah, fantastic. Right. So we'll just use a couple of videos. We'll look at this. So tell me what you see. Anything? Phoria. What phoria? Exophoria. Fantastic. Yes. So sometimes you have to cover that long. So we're given a near target. clearly seen now, exophoria. And now we're doing the alternate cover test. And you can see now it's building, it looks larger. Aha, what happened there? What is that now? You think that's aphoria still? It's atropia, right? We have given her a distance target, and now the eye is moving just on cover test. So that, and it's not uncommon to have a good control phoria for near and have tropia for distance. That's usually the scenario. What test is this? Alternate prism cover test. Some people use the term PBCT, prism base cover test, prism bar cover test, whatever suits you. Now, what was that test now? Simultaneous prism cover test. Wow, I'll tell you, I'll assure you, you will know more than most of the examiners. If you notice, the birthmark, the mark that they put on his cheek for nazar is larger than the one on the forehead. That's the first observation. But look at him. It's that easy. So sometimes you use resistance of the head, etc. So you can check everything you want to do. You can even do a cover test. Look at that, beautiful. But soon he will lose it there. Okay, so it's that easy. It's a great specialty, strabismus, pediatric opthal. You will learn music in nursery rhymes. You will be agile because you have to do fundus exam like this. So it's yoga. I mean, it's a great specialty. And you can have fun looking at old photo albums. Oh, child in diapers. Okay, like that, Oh, aapki shaadi. Like that, all have fun. It's great. So, but don't forget vision assessment, anterior segment examination, a good cycloplegic refraction, and a good look at the fundus. And I take this opportunity to invite you all to the 2060 joint conference of the APOS, American Association for Pediatric Ophthalmology and Strabismus, and SPOCI, Strabismus and Pediatric Ophthalmological Society of India, to be held between December 2nd to 4th in Jaipur. Thank you very much.